Good morning. I'm so glad you're here. This is section 6.3, where we will be working on adding and subtracting polynomials. So first, we're going to start with some vocab. Polynomials, just in general, it's a sum of monomials, which is kind of silly that they put that in the description because you don't even know what a monomial is yet. So far I've written out an example of a polynomial. It's kind of a big one. I just wrote out 3x squared minus 8x cubed plus 5x to the fourth plus 7x minus 6. So the monomials that they're talking about, those are just your terms. Okay, it's just a fancy word for terms. So the monomials that were listed in that polynomial, those are just the different terms, the different pieces. Okay, so some examples. 3x squared is one of the monomials. Negative 8x cubed is one. 5x to the fourth. 7x, and then that negative 6. Coefficients. All that means is that's just the constant of each term. And constant, that just means the number out front. Okay, so the term 3x squared, the constant for that guy, that's 3. The constant in negative 8x cubed, just that number out front, is negative 8. And then we also have 5 for 5x to the fourth. The constant for the term 7x is 7. And then finally, negative 6, that's just negative 6. Some of the questions they might ask you is, what's the degree of each term? And the degree of each term is just, the definition is the number of variable factors. Okay, so the number of variable factors. That kind of sounds a little bit confusing. It's just a fancy way of saying exponents. So the degree of each term, so if we look at the term 3x squared, the degree is just what the little exponent is. So in 3x squared, the degree is 2, because there's that little 2. In negative 8x cubed, what's the exponent? 3. In 5x to the fourth, my exponent is 4. Now this one gets a little bit tricky. The 7x, a lot of people want to say 0 because they don't see a little exponent there. But here off to the side, I'm going to jot down 7x is actually 7x to the first. Okay, so it's just that there's that little hidden 1. So the degree of 7x is 1. And next, this one's also a little bit tricky. The degree in negative 6, what do you think that is? Okay, so if we have negative 6, but then there's no x there, it's actually a little 0. And later on in the quarter, you will learn that x to the 0 power is equal to 1. Right now, you don't need to know that. You just need to know that whenever you see just that negative 6, just that whole number, that the degree of that term is 0. Okay, so that's what we're working on for today. We have just a couple more here, and then we'll start some examples. So the leading term, that's going to be your term with the highest degree is your leading term. And again, that degree, what we're really talking about is that little exponent. So we look through all of our terms in that polynomial, and we try to find the term that has the highest degree or the highest exponent. And the highest term, the whole term is 5x to the fourth. So that is our leading term in that polynomial. The degree of the polynomial, that is just your highest degree. So your highest exponent. So if the leading term is 5x to the fourth and it had the highest exponent, then the highest exponent really is just that exponent, so it's a 4. So somebody might say that that polynomial we originally started with would be called like a fourth degree polynomial because that exponent, the highest one, is that 4. All right, next, here are some examples. So I have A through F. What I would like for you to do right now is go ahead and first write them all down, give it a try, see just how many of these you can do. Okay, so go ahead and hit pause, give it a try, and then when you're ready to see how you did, go ahead and come back, hit play. We'll see what happened. All right, hopefully you had a chance to try it out. Hopefully you wrote down something. Okay, so the 2x plus 5x, I'm guessing that you got that one, okay, because that one's not too bad. You have 2x's, you add another 5x's, all together you'd have 7x's. We might need a little bit of a reminder on negative 2x plus 5x on which direction it would be. Some people get confused on the negatives. I like to think of it as money. So if I'm in the hole $2 and then I get $5, that means I'm going to be positive, right? Because I had more extra. So that would be 3x. On this next one, I have $2 and then I lose $5. So now I'm in the hole $3. So it'll be a negative 3x. Now we have a negative 2x minus 5x is going to be a negative 7x. This one's a little bit tricky. We have these two x's, and we're going to combine them with these 3 x's. So how many x's do I have all together? If I have 2, and then I add another 3, I have 5x plus nothing to combine with that 5y. I don't have any other y's. So it's going to be 5y. All right, this next one, a little bit different because we have this negative sign up front. Do you remember what we do with that? We want to take him and we want to distribute him, right? So some people think of him as a little negative 1. And then we just want to distribute to this first term and then to the second term. So when I do that, a negative 1 times 4x is a negative 4x. Negative 1 times negative 2y. Negative times a negative is a positive. So I'm going to have a plus 2y. And then we just have this plus 2x hanging out here on the end. Are we done? We can go a little bit further. Because look at here, we have negative 4x's plus 2x's. So how many x's do I have altogether? If I have negative 4 and I add 2, I'm going to have negative 2x's. Plus, nothing to combine this 2y with, so we just leave them, plus 2y. All right, so now this one is huge. Look how long this one is. I'll start this one out with you. Example 2, go ahead and write this down. I have 4 plus 3x to the 5th minus 2x cubed minus 2x to the 5th plus x squared minus 1 minus x plus 4x plus 4x to the 5th. Wow, that is long. Here's what we're going to do. Well, in your book, they have a different way of explaining it, and it's totally fine. It's just a lot of writing, and I don't know about you, but for me, the more that I have to write out the numbers, the more likely I am to make a little mistake and write them out incorrectly. So I like to do least amount of writing as possible. So what we're going to do is we want to make it be that the highest degree term starts it off. Okay, so the highest exponent. So what do you see as our highest exponent? Looks like I see some 3s. When I see a 3, I see a 2. Oh, look, there's the 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to circle everybody that has the exponent to the 5th power. And I'm also going to circle the sign that's out in front of him. Okay, so there's a positive 3x to the 5th. Here's another one, negative 2x to the 5th. So grab that sign too. Okay, so circle that. And did we get them all? Looks like we got one more here at the end. Okay, so I think I got all the ones that are to the 5th power. So we have 3, we have a negative 2, and we have a 4. So if I have 3 minus 2, I'd be down to 1x to the 5th. But I'm going to add 4 more x to the 5ths. So how many do I have altogether? I have 5x to the 5ths. Okay. Now I'm going to go through. I got all my 5s. I'm going to look for everybody that has something to the 4th. Do you see any of those? Nope. Nobody is x to the 4th. Okay. So let's go and look for to the 3rd power. I'm seeing this guy here, negative 2x cubed. I don't see anybody else to the 3rd power, so I'm just going to do negative 2x cubed. And let's see, next would be squared. And I just put these different signs, like how I circled the first one, I boxed the next one. I just make different notes so that I can kind of see the difference. So the next one, I'm just going to do like little squigglies. So plus an x squared, that's the only x squared that I see. Just helps me keep track of what I've done so far. All right, so I think that we're down to the x's. And for that, let me try to grab a different color here. There we go, let's try that. So the x's that I have, maybe I will double underline those guys. So I see a negative x. You see anybody else? I see this plus 4x. I think that takes care of them all. All right, so a negative x plus a 4x would give me 3x. We're almost done. We're just down to those whole numbers, right? So now, and I'm also running out of shapes, right? You can come up with whatever you like or different colors. I'm just going to be silly. I'm going to put a heart around this one because I love math. Okay, so there's 4. So put a little heart. And then we got the negative 1. So 4 minus 1, I get a positive 3. I'm actually going to change the color. I meant to do that. Just to kind of help it pop out. So 4 minus 1, I get that positive 3. And now we've combined all of our like terms to make this one polynomial, and it's written in descending order, which means we start with our highest exponent down to our lowest, and we don't have anything else that we can combine, so we're totally done with that one. All right, awesome. Let's try the next one. I have 2 more. Okay, so here's the next one, example 3. This one's different because I put it in parentheses. Okay, so this one is 2 minus 3x plus x squared in parentheses, plus the next set of parentheses, I have negative 5 plus 7x minus 3x squared plus x cubed. Now, what do you think? Do you think those parentheses make a difference? You want to say yes, right? Because it seems like parentheses should be important. But in this case, if you look at it, they actually really don't even make a difference. So let's go ahead and start just by rewriting this problem without the parentheses, okay? So this first set, that's doing absolutely nothing for us. So we have a 2 minus 3x plus x squared. Now here, plus a negative, can I rewrite that with just one side? Yeah, I can, because plus a negative is the same thing as minus. So we have a minus 5. Now, just finish it off, plus a 7x minus 3x squared plus x cubed. Now it looks a lot like where we start with example 2, right? So I would like you again to go ahead and give it a try. And remember, if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. Mistakes are great, okay? It means that you're learning. So I just want you to write something down. Even if you don't know what to write, I want you to make a mistake. Hopefully you've got it though. Just go ahead and hit pause. And when you think that you've got it, hit play and we'll see how you did. All right, so hopefully you gave it a try. And we're going to start again with finding all those highest exponents. So what's the highest one that you found? Kind of looks like the x squared at first, right? But then if you look at the very, very end, we've snuck in a little plus x to the third power. He's the only one that's to the third, so we'll just write him down. X cubed. All right, who'd you see next? Hopefully those x squareds, right? We've got a couple of them. We've got the plus x squared. And we've got a minus 3x squared. So if I have an x and I take away 3 of them, what do I have left? Negative 2x squared. And moving right along, anybody that's just to the x, I'm going to put little squigglies. I see a negative 3x and a positive 7x. So it'd be a positive 4x. And then finally, I think we're almost done here. Looks like a 2 minus a 5. I'm going to get a negative 3. Now, all of this that we're doing, that one's totally done, right? It looks good. All this that we're doing, this does count as showing your work. So say if we're going to go and take I'm grading like a quiz or something. If I see these boxes and say just like the plus x squared minus 3x squared, if I see those boxes around those two and maybe you make a little mistake for some reason, instead of writing negative 2x squared, you accidentally write, what would you write? Maybe like a negative 1x squared, just like a simple little math error. I'd at least give you partial credit for showing me that you understood that you were looking for the same degree terms. Okay, so this does count as showing your work. And you don't have to do the different colors. You can just do different shapes. Would be great. Example 4. This is going to be our last one. Now in example 3, those parentheses didn't make a difference. Now when you look at them in example 4, what do you think? Does it matter? Look closely. It does make a difference. Why does it make a difference in this one? The reason why it makes a difference is because of this negative sign. Right? That's going to totally change it. What do we have to do with that negative? We have to distribute it. Right? So that means, and again, you can think of it as a little negative 1 if you want. That means we're going to have to pop that guy into every single piece that's inside of this set of parentheses. Okay, so we're going to have to apply that all those times. Does it make a difference, though, with this first set? No, it doesn't, because the negative only applies to that second set because it's right outside. So if we go ahead and rewrite this, we get 9x to the 5th plus that x cubed minus 2x squared plus 4. Now here's where the work comes in. Okay, so that negative sign applied to the negative 2x to the 5th is going to be a positive. Negative times negative is a positive. 2x to the 5th. Now that negative times the x to the 4th, that's going to make it be a negative x to the 4th. It's just changing the sign for each piece. Negative times negative for the next one. I get a positive. And then finally, another positive 3x squared. All right, now's the point where I want you to try to take it from here, okay? Grab those exponents, look for your highest one. Go ahead and hit pause. Let's see how far you can get. All right, hopefully you gave it a try. Starting with the highest exponents, I see those 5s. Okay, so I've got 9x to the 5th and another 2x to the 5th for a total of 11x to the 5th. Working my way down. Do you see any 4s? I'm seeing 1, this negative x to the 4th. And we'll keep it going. Any cubes? Let's see, we've got x cubed, ooh, and a 4x cubed. I think that's all I'm seeing, so it gives me 5x cubed. And we're down to the squared, so negative 2x squared. Oh, maybe I'll do a little double squiggle. So negative 2 plus a 3 is a 1. Some people write 1. I'm not going to mark you down if you do. It's okay. It's just that it looks a little bit silly. Okay, it just looks a little silly to stick a 1 there. But if it helps you out, it's okay. You won't lose points for it. And then finally, to finish it off, what do we have left? So we can see everything has some sort of shape designating its term. But we do have one guy left, and it's just that little positive 4. So we'll just add them on. And we are totally done. That is section 6.3. I hope you have an awesome day. Good job.